Hello and welcome to this video. Today I am going to make some mini terrariums inside of these beautiful tiny glasses, and with that I also picked up some selenite for my first one, and it comes in these really beautiful long crystals and they almost look like mountain crystals or something like that. Now first things first, I actually wanted to mix up some pigment, so I took some of these tiny paint containers and just put in some glitters and pigments, and afterwards I basically decide which one I want to go with for this project. And I can still keep this pre-mixed pigments for later projects. And here's a tiny science experience for you guys. You see how the purple ink gets really neon pink? That sadly is the sodium toffee alcohol ink, and sadly it's also not the first one that it happened with. I tried to kind of fix it, but even the blue made it like murky brown, so I just mixed a different batch, which is really sad. I put them in tiny bottles as to not waste the resin. Maybe someday I can use it for something. But until then, you know, at least I didn't throw it away. And actually for my first try I'm using some mauve and some blue pigment with some Ito pigment. Ito pigments aren't that strong, but they definitely help giving it the color. And this time it actually turned out the color I wanted. And for the first one, I'm just basically filling in both of these containers of UV resin that I pre-mixed and then curing it, and that's practically all the resin I'm going to use for this. Now the selenite I thought would definitely benefit from a gradient. I wanted to make it look like it kind of was either absorbing or giving up the pigment that was on the bottom, kind of like a lake. And for that I just used some alcohol markers and colored this. I tried alcohol inks, but they were really splotchy. And the good thing about selenite is you can basically break it up with your hands, which is also why it's not really useful for other things, but for this, since there's like no way of getting into the terrarium later, it will be perfect. And I'm just using some UV resin and a torch, and I found that with my light on actually the glare of the glass is so bad that it takes ages to cure, but with the lights off the UV light can penetrate the glass really easily and make it cure really quickly, and I don't have to worry about placement and holding it in place for a long time and it shifting. Sadly, I've lost the footage on how I color this guy, but I wanted to make a crystal kind of dragonfly that I wanted to put into this terrarium, so I just also used some alcohol markers and this decal and some more UV resin, and with that the first one is finished and we can start with the second one. And for this one I'm just mixing some coarse grain sand with some UV resin for the first layer. This will be an ocean scene, but I still wanted to put in some colorful stones, and so they're not drowned out by the blue color. The layer in which the stones are will be clear, which means yes, there will be a separation between the blue and the clear, but honestly I don't really mind since the stones are so pretty and I think it definitely looks well. Also, I'm sorry that it's out of focus. I tried to show you guys a side view to give you a better idea of what I'm doing, but sadly, because of the curve of the glass, my camera really didn't want to focus on it. And here you can see after my first layer of blue, I'm putting in this tiny turtle and I'm leaving it white. And that's basically just because I really like the contrast of the white in the blue ocean water. And I'm aware that there's layers, just because I'm not like caring about leaving the bubbles in, and the color mixing is not exact each time. But I think it definitely looks more like a moving ocean, like there's some underwater waves and stuff, so I definitely like this look a lot and will leave it that way. And with that, both of them are finished. Now this was a really quick project, but it was so much fun to make and super easy, so you can basically just pick up some UV resin or 2-part resin if you want to, pick up some decals and decorate these tiny glasses. And the first one I just went with a fantasy vibe in like a magical cave with some magical dragonflies and stuff and these crystals that are emerging. And the second one was more natural with these beautiful stones. And although I did a clear layer on the bottom for the stones, they are really well visible and the blue actually reflects in the clear layer, so it looks more like a gradient to me than like there's a clear separation between the layers. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below which one of these two is your favorite, and if you would pick up some of these glasses, what would you put inside? What kind of scenery, what kind of animals? And I hope you have a great day. Bye!